Hi guys, welcome back. I'm playing Dark Souls 3 again. Today I am going to try and, one more time, I'm going to go ahead and try and do the Lothric twins. Lorien and Lothric. I'm doing this again. I have done this fight so many times today. This is absolutely not the first time I've done it today, and it probably won't even be the last. Now, on New Game, I did this boss the second time through. The first time he scared the hell out of me. And the second time through, I just kind of rolled right through him, and then I went back and did the Warrior of Sunlight Covenant and just helped other people. So it's kind of surprising to me that this is actually taking so many tries to kill this fucking thing. He is a pain in my butt right now. He's frustrating. He's just such a pain in the ass. And the other thing is, I can't summon help. So even if I wanted to summon help, I can't. Why? Well, not because my internet's totally screwed up or something. I can actually summon people to my world, but when I do, they can't pass the fog wall. So I'm stuck doing this by myself. I will ember up because it does give me more health. But I don't have ridiculously high hopes for this fight. Check my. Oh. Well, okay. Maybe that's why. Let's try something a little bit less heavy, and then maybe put something that makes more sense. I am such an idiot. That might work. Sage Ring +1. Yeah, that'll be fine. Maybe that'll work out better. So anyway, yeah, this fight's been pissing me off quite a bit. He's just a real pain in the butt, because he cheap shots you right off the bat. And then he basically just runs at you the entire time, and if you're really unlucky, he will be really aggressive, and you'll get unlucky and get hit. Or if you're really good, you'll beat him really quickly. Or if you're really bad like me, you'll have to put up with the fact that you're going to die a lot. And that's going to be really frustrating. And boy, doesn't that sound awful? It is awful. Losing sucks. It does. It sucks. There's no two ways about that. But here's the thing. I keep coming back and playing this game because it's fun, right? Losing's fun? No, it's not. Losing is never fun. I'm sorry, it isn't. At least not to me. It might be fun to somebody who's really masochistic, but that's not where the fun in this game comes for me. That's not where it comes from. It comes from winning. And the thing about the winning in this game is, when you win in this game, it feels amazing, especially if it's against a boss like this son of a bitch, who keeps beating the crap out of me, slowly or quickly. Okay, quickly. I understand. I don't think there's anything that compares. Like, if you have a really difficult fight of any kind, and then you win, that rush at the end is just, oh man, that's amazing. I have gone, just as an example from real life, I have gone snowboarding quite a few times in my life, and it's always been, pretty much always been fun, unless somebody's gone through some drama, or somebody got hurt, or I had an injury to deal with. That has happened, it's human, but for the most part, it's a lot of fun. But the most, satisfied I think I've ever been. Sorry, I had to concentrate for a second there. The most satisfied I've ever been with any snowboarding trip was one where I went to a place in California called North Star, and I was a complete just loser the entire time on the mountain. I hadn't been snowboarding in quite a while, and I got up on the mountain, and I don't know if anybody has ever heard of North Star, but the place is not really meant for snowboarders. It is meant for somebody with skis and 2 poles, because a lot of it's flat or way too long. So there's this one run that I was on, and it lasted for, I swear to God, it lasted for 30 minutes. I was on this side of the hill, on the side of this mountain, for 30 minutes going downhill. And yeah, it sounds fun, but then, you realize that you get cramps, and you're cold, and you're old. I was in so much pain by minute 15, and I was only halfway down the mountain, It actually got to a point where I actually thought I might have to be carted down the mountain, and the reason that it was a satisfying trip for me, really, is because I just gritted my teeth and said, no, I'm not having that happening. That's not happening. I am absolutely not going to get carted down the mountain for this thing. Yeah, the best part wasn't the fact that I was in pain, that I couldn't feel my left boot, which, by the way, it really just kind of turned out that I didn't have the boots on correctly, and because I hadn't worn them in quite a while. Ah, yes, you motherfucker, you're so fucking dead. Die. Yeah, getting off the mountain, man. That was the best part. I didn't pull any tricks, and I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't, like, you know, do some crazy, like, stunts or anything to get off that mountain. I just got off the mountain. It sucked. I didn't care what I looked like. I was a sweaty, awful mess. But I got down off the mountain. I had a great time. Got down the mountain after that struggle, and it was freezing cold, and it was getting to night. And, you know, I mean, it's first world problems up in here because I'm talking about snowboarding, but yeah, man, I got off the mountain. I went back up for another run. It was a shorter run that time, but I went back up for another run just to kind of celebrate the fact that I'd gotten down the mountain. I was bruised, I was exhausted, I was tired, and I'd never felt better, even though it sounds really pathetic because it sounds like a failure story. The fact is, I didn't fail. I didn't quit. Just like with Lorien just now, and also equipping the correct rings. Never forget to equip the correct rings. This is like take number 50. Probably more like 12 times or so that I've done it today while I'm talking to myself and being distracted. And the reason I'm bringing Lorien up is because I think it's really important to never quit. You know, if you like something, if you're doing something, if you're trying to be good at something, don't stop because you fail. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail over and over and over again. It's kind of an inevitability. You might be born with a bunch of talent, you know, and then you're just good at everything, and then good for you, you know, that's great. But that means that you're never gonna have that same feeling of just that rush of knowing what it means to fail and yet not failing. I just don't know how else to explain it. I mean, winning all the times, you know, it's fun. Of course it's fun. Winning's fun. But winning when you know that you could lose, winning when you expected that you were going to lose, when you had to work your ass off, you had to struggle to win, that is a feeling worth pursuing. And that's kind of why I don't think that it's bullshit. You know, that whole get good thing that they have from Dark Souls and from other video games and everywhere else. I don't think it's entirely bullshit. I do think it's a meme. I think it's overused. I think people use it to troll, but I also think it's kind of poignant. I think it's kind of poignant. Because at the end of the day, you really do have two choices. You either get good or you fail and you quit. And you're going to fail anyway. So you might as well not quit. You know. And when you do quit, you're gonna end up basically making excuses for yourself, like, you know, well, I could have kept going, but etc. I didn't really want to, or, you know, the system's screwy, or this game sucks, or my boss hates me, or whatever. It doesn't. Hey, nice. I get both of them now. See, that's proof. This is New Game Plus. I did beat him once. Not that you needed proof, because obviously, I'm an idiot and I just had the wrong rings on, making the fight much harder. Yeah, basically, you know, you're gonna make up all these excuses if you lose, and you keep losing and losing and losing and losing, and then not trying. You're gonna make up excuses, because I know I did. I know most people do. If you lose at things, you're gonna make up any excuse you can to justify walking away from it. You know, and I'm talking about video games here. Talking about video games specifically. So that's why I think a lot of video games now are easy, really easy. They reflect the industry, and they reflect the people buying stuff from the industry, which is why there's such a cult following for Dark Souls, and that's why some people criticize Dark Souls 3 as being kind of a little too easy and not memorable. I still love this game. I don't particularly care about the bad criticisms, or the negative criticism rather. too much. I mean, there is some truth to the fact that this isn't as dark as Dark Souls 2, and definitely not as hard as Dark Souls 2 tended to be. I mean, just fight a pursuer in Dark Souls 2 and come back and fight anything other than Sullivan's Beast in this game, and then tell me that Dark Souls 2 isn't harder, because it definitely is. But I like this game better than Dark Souls 2, so I'm not going to complain. I had a lot of fun with this game. And I had a lot of fun with this game, as I said, because I failed a lot. I'm still failing a lot, but I'm succeeding. You know, it's a weird balance to succeed after a lot of fails and just feel good about it. Like, I don't have to go fight those two princes again unless I want to, unless I want to go help somebody out as a warrior of the sun. That's a huge relief, just to be able to like go and do it and be done with it. And in fact, most of the time when I've lost in this game, it's been because I panicked. You know, I'm letting emotion get the better of me, and then I lose. Most of the bosses in this game, the first time through, I'll just straight up lose because I am just panicking. I'm in panic mode. I'm like, oh my god, what is that thing? What's it gonna do to me? Like the very first one, Gunnar, he scared the hell out of me when he became a monstrosity. I'd seen videos of it, but I had no idea what to do with it. Like, I had no idea how to fight it, so I lost over and over again. Now he's pretty simple. I mean, I can beat him pretty easily now. There's a pretty easy system no matter what I'm playing. But yeah, that's just the reason I'm bringing this up, and the only reason I'm playing Dark Souls to kind of illustrate the point is, you know, if you're going to be like a professional at anything, you kind of have to be good at your job. And in most professions, if you're going to be, you know, crappy at your job, you can't blame the people who are your customers, and you can't blame like the world at large, and you can't blame society for you being crappy at your job. Like, if you go to a car mechanic and they can't fix your car, they don't get to say, well, you know, it's because men rule the world and that's why I can't fix your car, and then they get away with it. Or they can't say, you know, it's because we live in a too liberal of a society, and and so I can't make enough money, and so I'm tired and all this. No, it's not really, you know, society's fault that you didn't fix my car correctly, you know, and it's really not my fault that I'm going to choose some other mechanic from now on because your work sucks. And it just doesn't work that way. It's because when you are in a business, when you're working, when you're employed or you're an employer, everything is kind of based on, mostly, it's based on merit. I mean, that's because otherwise you don't make any money. So why do I say that? Why does that matter? Because I just recently watched a video by a guy named Harmful Opinions, and he basically pointed out this Polygon article, which I hate Polygon. I think that they're a trash news site. I've never really liked them. They're tied in with Gawker, and they're very much like Kotaku, which is another incredibly trashy news site. Games journalism with quotes around it, basically. And in it, they explained that they basically uploaded a 30-minute video of Doom, the gameplay of Doom. Person playing the game didn't know how to play Doom. Probably never played like FPSs before in his or her life. And there was no commentary, there was no voiceover, there was nobody saying anything. It was just the game with no soundtrack, kind of unedited. Guys shooting at walls, you know, instead of shooting at people, shooting at the ground instead of shooting at people. Just not really playing the game really well, which is, you know, that's not a sin. It's not like it's a big deal, but, you know, if you're a gaming site and you choose to put up a really crappy video with very little, like, justification for the crappiness, you're not really gonna get much out of it if you double down and say, it's not a crappy video, you know. Guy had fun playing it. And this guy named John Walker, that's the guy who wrote the article, he says that I don't think he was the guy actually playing in the video, because he mentions that in the article, but he says, you know, you guys are so toxic and so mean, and and you know, you're criticizing this guy who maybe he's not very good at video games, and you don't even know if he's having fun. And it's like, listen, man, it doesn't matter if the guy doing the video was having fun or not. Because, I mean, first off, there's no commentary. So if there's no commentary, then it's not going to be fun for the viewer to watch somebody suck at a video game unless there's commentary. I mean, I wouldn't expect anybody to watch my videos unless I was talking. I'm not good enough for it. I'm not a speedrunner. I'm not like amazing at any of these games. I'm okay. I'm not totally horrible. But the point is, if you had to watch, I wouldn't watch my gameplay without commentary, and I'm me, and I'm watching it without commentary whenever I'm not making a video. So there you go. I know, contradicting myself. Point is, if you're getting paid to play video games, you're getting paid for it. Maybe not necessarily don't suck at it, but don't suck at your job, which is like reviewing and showing off the video games you play. Maybe like the job, because the job that you have is a dream job, not just for everybody, but for yourself, because you're basically not outside breaking your back. You're not in a cubicle somewhere basically making money for some fat cat somewhere. You're literally showing off product and writing about it. It is one of the simplest jobs. Not easy, but it is quite possibly one of the most morally simplistic jobs you could ever have. It pays decently, doesn't require a hell of a lot of talent, there's a lot of leeway in it, and the only thing you really have to put up with is just people disagreeing with you on the internet, words, okay, and deadlines. so you have to put up with words and deadlines. There are people on this planet that have to put up with bullets, sharp objects, whiny kids, shitty customers all day long, horrible bosses. Your situation isn't bad if you're a game reviewer. If you're at all working in like games journalism, your situation can't possibly be bad if you're employed. So if you're at Polygon and you watch this video, which of course nobody will be, maybe next time when you upload 30 minutes of gameplay that's just utter shit, don't double down. Don't say it's, gamers that are toxic and, games reviewers can't even review games unless they're perfect. And video games, it's getting to the point where they can't even talk online without getting harassed. Don't do that. Seriously. It was your choice to put up 30 minutes worth of crap. You didn't have to do that. You could have even edited down the crap to like a succinct 5 minutes of okay. Even the shittiest of player can be edited down to look alright. Just in post-production, you can go and cut that stuff up and make it look alright. So the onus isn't really on gamers to not tell people who are just having fun and sucking to not get good. The onus isn't on gamers at all. It isn't on your readers. It isn't on anybody but you guys. And I'm not saying get good at video games. And of course, get good at video games or else they're probably going to keep sucking for you and it's going to not be fun. And you're not going to like your job very much, which Kotaku, Polygon, seems to be kind of a problem. They don't seem to like their jobs very much. No, I'm not saying that, though. I'm saying don't worry about getting good at video games. Get good at your job. Get good at it. Take pride in it. Don't be an entitled little shit. Because, you're not entitled to your job. We're not required to like you. Most people who read Polygon, I gotta figure they read it for the cringe, because they're not really a very good news organization of any kind, and they're not very good at video games. And I don't mean good as in talented or even skilled. I mean they don't seem to enjoy it. Very few of them do. It's been quite a while since I've actually read Polygon. It's been quite a while since I've read Kotaku. I actually haven't read Kotaku in several years. I just kind of get snippets from other people who are braver and more patient than I. But the little bit I've had to read today and over the last week or so has shown me that it hasn't really improved. They're still, harping on about how they're not a free speech site and, we can delete your comments and all that stuff just to keep the peace, quote unquote. And the fact is that they just have ego problems. They have some serious, problems with themselves, how they view themselves, I think, over at Polygon and in most games journalism today. People aren't very good at video games, and they take it to heart. They're like, I just suck at video games, and I gotta cover that up. It's like, no, listen, man, I've seen some people be really awful at video games on YouTube, on Twitch, and I still watch them. There's actually a channel that I watch all the time called Continue with a question mark. I'll leave a link to that, and I'll also leave a link to Harmful Opinions. Of course, he's actually pretty good at video games. But Continue are amazing. 3 guys sitting on a couch, laughing, joking, and doing what I did when I was a kid, and just sitting down and playing with their friends on camera. And sometimes they're good, but most of the time they're not that great. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because most of the games they have, I haven't played in years and years, sometimes even like decades. But even when they're really, really awful, they don't front as if they are professional gamers. I mean, they are, I guess, literally professional gamers because they're getting paid to play video games. But they're not like competitive professional gamers. The fun is in watching them like lose gracefully and make me laugh and be entertaining. And if they can do it, just 3 guys sitting on a couch with some editing, you know, and a green screen and basically low budget, then you got to figure somebody like or an organization like Polygon can do a better job than they are doing, or an organization like Kotaku can do a better job than they are doing at policing their own ego. You know, don't lie to us. Just get good. Anyway, guys, hope you liked the video. If you did, leave a like. If you don't, let me know why. Either way, I'll see you another time.